Well, the study says younger Americans are more likely to quit a job for mental health reasons over older Americans. As a matter of fact, about half of millennials, it claims, have quit a job for mental health reasons. Why is that? On the Dan Gaffney Newsmaker line, Leah Richardson, a licensed professional counselor from thebrainperformancecenter.com. Leah, good morning. Thanks for being on the air with us. Hi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Is this a generation of wusses that's going on? I mean, why can't people hang in there? What's with the mental health excuse when they quit a job? What's going on here?
Well, I don't know that I would say it's a generation of wusses, but I would say that it's an anxious generation. And when you think about the millennials, they were the first to grow up with the constant overflow of the internet and social media. I mean, the internet can make life really, really good, but it also complicates things. And the millennials, they're comparing everything they do in their personal and their professional life to what they see on social media. And that impacts their self-esteem and their self-confidence.
The internet is making them mentally ill?
Well, I think social media is contributing to their mental illness because we live in a comparative society. And I think the other thing is that this is a generation that grew up thinking, thank goodness for this, but therapy is okay. And it's okay to talk about mental health. I can't tell you how many clients I've worked with over the years that they have suppressed their panic attacks. And what does that do? It makes it worse. So for me to take the taboo away from mental health, I think is a positive thing.
They call it the therapy. They call it the therapy generation, I guess.
They do. And I wrote a book, Turn Your Brain On to Get Your Game On, just to create awareness that it is okay to have mental health problems. And I think part of it is the study showed that, it's not only the younger people are reaching out, but they know how. They know the proper procedures for asking for mental health support from their employers. And the baby boomers, I think, are more afraid of retribution. They're more afraid to step up and say, I need help.
I'm sorry. There's a theory that the everyone gets a trophy syndrome that they've kind of grown up under is making people crack under the real world, because in the real world, everybody doesn't get a trophy. Does that play into this?
I think it does. I think it's expectations. If everybody on the team gets a trophy, that creates an expectation. I showed up, I should be recognized. And as you said, that's my life, and that's forcing it to a win-lose situation. Anytime you do that, you got a winner and you got a loser.
Leah Richardson, thebrainperformancecenter.com. We have a question from Jim the Landscaper. You're on with Leah, who is a licensed professional counselor, talking about this issue of quitting jobs for mental health reasons. Go ahead, Jim the Landscaper.
Hey, Dan. I have two sons, and they are both have totally different jobs. One works on a tuna boat and is a professional surfer, and he spends time in the water and time outside, and he is the most mellow kid in the world. The other one works on the internet out of his house, and he has got 3 screens going at the same time, texting, calling, and he is literally an anxious mess. And it is just, I truly believe that it is the way that society is geared. I believe that we're to run at 40 miles an hour, and society demands that we run at 100. And you blow gaskets when you do that. You understand?
Yeah, let's let Leah comment on that. It's a good way of putting it. What do you think of that, Leah?
I think he's absolutely right. When you keep yourself in a state of hyper-arousal, you're in that fight or flight mode. You're not really sure what to do. And when, everything is immediate now, 24/7. No, I can't wait 2 minutes. I need it now.
Right. And, Leah, I take time in the morning to meditate and say my prayers. I have to have that hour to get myself calmed down because I have my own business. And at 7:30, it's on. You know, the phone is blowing up, the things are going on, and a lot of my workers suffer from the same thing. They just get all freaked out. Everybody gets all freaked out, and it's like, you know, it's just the way I think that we run way too hard and way too fast. The first thing people ask me is, do you work on the weekends? No. We have to have time to be us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, thank you so much. I want to ask you, too, about the issue that a lot of business owners talk about when millennials or Gen Zers quit a job. A lot of times they just ghost. You ever heard of this? In other words, they've just got hired, they're on the job for an hour or two, and then they just leave. They can't take it. They just walk off. Have you ever heard of that manner of quitting? Is that a mental health issue, you think?
I think it is. I think you walk in the job, and I have heard of that. But they go in and they're just so overwhelmed. You know, maybe it's a century. There's so much going on. Or they're in that state of hyperarousal, and they don't know whether to fight or run. So what do? They run.
So what's your advice to people who are having trouble holding a job because of their mental health? What's your advice to them?
My advice is 2 words: self-care. And the gentleman referred to it. He takes his hour in the morning for himself. But self-care requires self-discipline. Self-discipline is self-love. But you've got to take care of yourself, and that doesn't mean you get a bottle of wine and you sit there and you watch Netflix all night long. It's more about that mind, body, spirit connection.
Dave Jones is an employer, has perspective. You're on with my guest. Hello, Dave.
Yeah, good morning, Dan. I just had 2 comments. One is, you know, I've employed a lot of people over the years, and first of all, I want to say there's a lot of good stories out there too. All right, there's a lot of, and I've hired a lot of millennials that are just outstanding and have some now. So it's not all you always hear like it's almost a hex, you know, age to be in this and that. Well, I know a lot of good ones. Okay, but I know there are the exceptions. But the other thing I wanted to say is about this quitting and walking away. I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Think about it. We're in a log off society. Okay, if you're texting with someone and you don't like what they're saying, you quit texting with them. If you're on Facebook or chatting with somebody or something on a messenger or something, you don't like it, you log off. No one finishes. I say no one. A lot of times things aren't finished like 2 people facing each other would have to finish something. It's a log off society. People hang their phone up. You know, people log off to Facebook. People don't return emails. It's just there's no face-to-face opportunity there to get to an end.
That kind of fits into hold on, Dave. I'm going to put you on hold because I'm going to come back to you. But that kind of fits into what you were saying about social media, I guess, right?
I think it does. I think that it's a different way that we interact with each other. So many people, even parents, they don't yell, stand at the bottom of the stairs and yell, "Come down for dinner." They text their kids, "Come down for dinner." I mean, the way we communicate has drastically changed.
TheBrainPerformanceCenter.com. What's the book you wrote? You were getting ready to say something about a book you wrote.
It's Turn Your Brain On to Get Your Game On. And it's all about the emotional influencers, the cognitive barriers, lifestyle choices, and how that impacts your brain's ability to perform. Because everything you do, you don't do, and how well you do it, it's all about how your brain's working.
Wow. Excellent call. Thanks for being my guest. Go to our website, thebrainperformancecenter.com. Thanks for being on the Dan Gaffney Newsmaker line. We really appreciate it.